not to be political and not to be ageist, but do cognitive abilities and all that kind of stuff come into play here? So if so much is riding on the president, is there tests that are conducted? Is there regular training procedures on the president that you're aware of? Do you know?
I don't think that has anything to do with ageism. I think it has to do with, I think it's an earnest question, a really powerful one. And if people were to ask that question of themselves or their sort of, you know, dinner party guests or their family around the dinner table guests, you might come to a real good conclusion about how bad our political system is and how bad our presidential candidates are. Because why on earth there would be two candidates, one of whom has cognitive problems and the other of whom has judgment problems? Um, these are the two biggest issues with a nuclear launch, judgment and cognition. And so where's the, young-ish, um, thoughtful, forward-looking, wise, dedicated civil servant running for president? I know that sounds, you know, fantastical, but I wish it weren't.
So that's one of the things you should really think about when voting for president is this scenario that we've been describing, these 6 minutes. Imagine the man or woman sitting there for 6 minutes waiting for the pot of coffee.
But I think about that issue with any war, right? I mean, prior to writing Nuclear War: A Scenario, I previously wrote 6 books on military and intelligence programs designed to prevent nuclear war. And I believe the president as commander in chief should be of the highest character possible, because the programs, the wars that we have fought since World War II have all been, how many octogenarian sources have I interviewed? I'm talking about Nobel laureates and weapons designer and spy pilots and engineers in general. They've all said to me with great pride, we prevented World War III, nuclear World War III, right? And but that idea that the commander in chief and everyone within the national security apparatus should be making really good decisions about war. It's the oldest cliche in the world that, the wars are fought by the young kids. And it's not a cliche, it's true. And so the character part about the president should be in play, whether we're thinking about nuclear war or any war, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you, first of all, but it feels like with nuclear war, one person becomes like exponentially more important. With regular war, the decision to go to war or not, advisors start mattering more. There's judgment issues. You could start to make arguments for sort of more leeway in terms of what kind of people we elect. It seems like with nuclear war, there's no leeway. It's like one person can resist this, the jamming the president force, the warmongers, all the calculation involved in considering what are the errors, the mistakes, the missiles flying over Russia, the full dynamics of the geopolitics going on in the world. Consider all of humanity, the history of humanity, the future of humanity, your loved, all of it just loaded in to make a decision. Then it becomes much more important that your cognitive abilities are strong and your judgment abilities against powerful, wise people, just as a human being, are strong. So I think that's something to really, really consider when you vote for president. But to which degree is it really on the president versus to the people advising?
Oh, no, it's on the president. The president has to make the call. And that 6-minute window happens so fast. I mean, the president is going to be being moved for part of that time. The Secret Service is going to be, up against up against Stratcom saying we need we need the launch orders, and the Secret Service is going to be saying we need to move the president. So it's not as much that he's delegating the issues, it's more like the issue is being postponed, because there is only one issue for the president to say these targets, for him to choose from the Denny's like menu. Okay, this is what we're going to go with. And then this astonishing thing happens. The president takes out his wallet. He has a card in it that's colloquially called the biscuit. And that card with the codes matches up an item in the briefcase, in the football, that then is received by an officer underneath the Pentagon in that bunker. It's a call and response, Lex. It's like, Alpha, Zeta, right? That's it. And that then back so that the individual in the bunker realizes they are getting the command from the president. And then that order is passed to Stratcom. And Stratcom, the commander of Stratcom, and I interviewed a former commander of Stratcom. Commander of Stratcom then follows orders, which is he delivers the launch orders to the nuclear triad. And what's done is done.